one championship final to decide them all. It's the final round in Season 4 of di9 Designs Thursday Night Thunder. I'm Rick James. We're about ready to throw the green flag. Georgia's Cody Pennell and Virginia's Tommy Withers share the front row for 167 laps of action, the longest race of the year. 4 drivers in the hunt to decide the title. Pennell with internet issues as Withers steadies himself for the green. Let's go racing! Good hopes Cody Pennell, albeit with some intermittent internet issues, leads this race. He leads lap number 1 with Tom Sears behind him in that second position. The two-time champion comes into round number 12, looking to repeat Season 3's title. There are the points coming into this final race. 7 different scenarios for the championship tonight. Thomas Andrews clinches the title with a 6th place finish or better. Cody Pennell just went purple with a 31.85. Thomas Andrews right now finds himself in the 11th position there. Wiggly Biter just following. Welcome, Wiggly. Never thought I'd say that. The two of Thomas and 2 cars going for a spill. Ohio's Terry Gabbard to the inside line, and Greensburg, Kentucky's Cody Riggs right onto the racetrack. 3, 4, 5 cars involved. Patrick Allen squeezes through. One of the Bluegrass Bandits, Cody Riggs, sporting the Smokies Bar livery as he's done the last few weeks with the pride of Greensburg, Kentucky on him. Goes around in the number 3. Terry Gabbard involved in that one as well. Central Florida's Richie Catania got a piece of that one in the 2-4 DuPont Chevrolet. The 96 of Clayton Hardy. He got into the chat earlier before anybody. He said, "I'm just hoping not to finish dead last." And I told him, just don't crash. The curse of the commentator already comes through well into lap number 4. Let's go back and see what happened on this 4th lap coming down the backstretch. We were just talking about our championship scenarios. Cody Riggs and Terry Gabbard get... Well, there's Cody Riggs right there in turn number 3. Already, the crash is unfolding. Let's see if we can go further on back. See, Clayton Hardy just could do nothing about that accident. Elridge George got a big piece of that one. There you see, there's the 45 of Patrick Allen. Heads up play by Patrick Allen to sneak right through that one. Let's see if we can find out how Terry Gabbard snuck away with this one. And they're already crashing here, so let's run this back. Contact between the freaky fast Ford Fusion of Gabbard and the number 3 Smokies Chevy. This is out of turn 2. The 4 car seemingly just turning to the left. Have a look at the hands of Terry Gabbard. Further on. This is on board with Cody Riggs, and you see Terry Gabbard just got onto Riggs there. Let's have a look from Gabbard's hands. This is the lap before. We'll speed it up here. We'll get just a clear look at Terry Gabbard's hands coming off the second corner because it looks like both cars just may have drifted into each other out of the second corner. Have a look. In the mirror, possibly looks like the 4 car thought He was clear. There's the 3, just trying to control it. The 96. Oh, there's the 45 of Patrick Allen. He didn't make it through the crash cleanly. Elrich George going for a spill. And ironically, the 4 of Terry Gabbard coming off with the least amount of damage. We're going to restart this race with Cody Pennell leading in the 2-8. Tommy Withers behind him in the 6-0. Dustin Painter in the 0-0 sits in 3rd. It is a Ford Pontiac top 3. Cody Pennell with control of the field. Dustin Painter sitting in 3rd, the North Carolinian. He's in one of those 7 championship scenarios to lift the Season 4 TNT trophy. But we'll see. We're only 6 laps in. Cody Pennell with control of the field. We're racing again at Atlanta. Thomas Andrews with John Honeybrink to his inside through that 3rd corner. John Honeybrink, not part of this championship fight, but right now to the inside of the championship leader. Only 8 laps in, Thomas Andrews hanging in the top 15. Cody Pennell continues to lead with Tommy Withers in that 2nd position. Atlanta Racing in the chat says, give Ricky some love. My brother ATL, welcome. What's going on, man? Glad to have you in the chat. And if you don't know, now you know. Twitch.tv/Atlanta Racing. Some good news for him. His Throwback Series and his Cup Series just might be becoming a little more harmonious. He's only getting better with every racy broadcast. You give this man some love, give him a follow and a subscription. Twitch.tv/Atlanta Racing. Dustin Painter behind Tommy Withers into that 3rd position. 2-8-6-0-0-0. Your top 3. Al Simkowski with the fastest lap of the night so far. 31.81 seconds. The Chicago, Illinois native in the John Deere Chevrolet Impala sits 1 second ahead of one of the Bluegrass Bandits, number 18, Riley Wright. The Greensburg, Kentucky native. He's gained 3 places from where he started this race. Let's ride in the cockpit with the Kentucky driver and see how it looks from 5th. Caution is out for the 2nd time today from Riley Wright's cockpit. Toby Estes, one of those 3 Bluegrass Bandits we've been talking about for these first 11 laps, goes around. Let's see what happened. The Skull Bandit, to be exact, in that 7-8. Looks like he just got turned by the 4 of Terry Gabbard. That's 2 strikes tonight for the Ohio driver. He struck the wall coming into turn number 1, and Estes caught in the crossfire. That Skull Bandit's going to have to take some time to heal. Let's have another look. Let's see if we can find it from Terry Gabbard's point of view. There you see the 4 car hitting the wall right in front of Patrick Allen and Ryan Pennell, the hometown favorite. Both of those drivers colliding. One more look. Let's see if we can get a clearer view on Terry Gabbard's side of things. Oh, there's the strike of the wall one more time. Let's back it up here. And it just looks like Gabbard bounces off that safer barrier. Let's ride along. with Ryan Pinnell. So the second caution flies over Atlanta. Cody Pinnell continues to lead the race. Tommy Withers is in that second spot for now. Dustin Painter sits in third. The top three remains unchanged. Al Simkowski in fourth. Briley Wright rounds out your top five. Richie Catania rounds out your top 10 in the number 2-4 DuPont Chevrolet. Clayton Hardy, not so much a special guest if you were just a part-time TNT driver. Sitting in 11th right now. Good to see the Arby's Ford back in fighting shape. He got caught up in that first accident, as did Patrick Allen. Tom Sears sitting 13th in the running order right now. Cody Riggs, Terry Gabbard, and Toby Estes rounding out the field after being involved in a couple of those last crashes. The lights are still on atop the pace car, so Cody Pinnell and Tommy Withers will have control of the field when we go racing once again. Fans, don't go anywhere. We're going to take a quick 60-second break, and we'll be back for more of the di9 Designs Thursday Night Thunder Championship Final. Ready to throw the green flag once again, Georgia's Cody Pinnell with control of the field. Toby Estes a lap down to the inside of the Georgian. Green flag is out. Patrick Allen in the 4-5 Mountain Dew machine to the inside of Florida's Richie Catania. John Honeybrink, the plate track ace, now on the outside behind his good drafting partner and championship leader Thomas Andrews. He is just a couple spots away from getting that title. Tommy Withers does not get the pole. He started second. That means Andrews can wrap up the championship with a 7th place finish. Scenario 2 is in effect. Thomas Andrews, all he has to do is lead a lap, and 8th place will, in effect, wrap up the title for him. No pressure now. He sits in 8th, just 1 spot behind Jason Alexander. But as we've seen already, it could be a caution-filled afternoon under that hot Atlanta sun at the front. Tommy Withers in the 6-0 Winn-Dixie machine. He's up to 2nd still, but here comes North Carolinian Dustin Painter to the inside. The Aquafresh Pontiac wants a piece of that Winn-Dixie Taurus. Cody Pennell leading by 0.9 of a second. Pennell, the part-time driver, into that Haviland Ford. Surprisingly, not doing as well in the points as a first-time viewer might expect. Cody Pennell sits 22nd, not even on this chart, but he is a 2-time TNT winner. Toby Estes, a 3-time TNT winner, is 15th in the points, and that's what a part-time schedule will do for you. But watch out, in Season 5, we'll see these guys just a bit more often. Speaking of Toby Estes, the Skull Bandit, Peanut Butter Estes, as he's called, piloting that 7-8 Skull Machine, trying to get his lap back from the 2-8 points leader, Thomas Andrews, in 7th now. And if the race were to end now, Andrews would clinch the title, but still so much racing to go. Andrews for now has worked his way into that 7th spot. Here comes John Honeybrink, though, on the inside once again. It's not going to be easy. Top 3 running nose to tail so far. One of those Kentucky pilots, Briley Wright, up 4 places from where he started. Al Simkowski sits behind him in that 99 machine. The Illinois pilot with that John Deere green Chevrolet, being followed by Josh Garrison in the Red Bull Toyota Camry. The 84 machine trying to crack that top 5. Garrison comes into the points 11th. Just 6 points behind Cody Riggs, who holds that 10th position. Garrison trying to finish top 10 in the points at the end of Season 5. He's up 6 places from where he started. Currently, the race's hardest charger, Richie Catania, up 5 places right now, hunting down defending champion Tom Sears. Let's talk about Tom Sears in that 1-4 ARCS Toyota. Tom Sears is in contention to win this championship tonight. If he wins this race, he would need a little bit of help from Thomas Andrews, finishing 10th or worse. If Andrews leads a lap, depending on the rest of the finishers, Andrews may need to finish 11th or worse for Sears to win. But there is a scenario where Dustin Painter and Tom Sears can win the championship. Painter trying to put that scenario to work. If the North Carolinian gets the W tonight, he can clinch the championship again with some misfortune on Thomas Andrews' side. But we've already seen Clayton Hardy, Cody Riggs caught up in some collateral damage. Elridge George, Patrick Allen, all drivers involved in crashes tonight. It could happen to anyone. No driver is safe in the championship final. They've got to make it all 257 miles. The longest race of the season. It is a marathon event. Thomas Andrews sitting in 6th right now behind Illinois' Al Simkowski. Tommy Withers, big slide out of turn number 2, but he uses the momentum to get around Dustin Painter. Now to the inside of Toby Estes in the 7-8 car. Will Painter make it 3 wide? He will, and there they go, 3 wide down that front straight. Toby Estes gives. And now Dustin Painter, look at that, using that momentum, slingshotting his way into turn number 1. He knows the championship is on the line. Tommy Withers not fighting for that title. Maybe that had something to do with it, but Tommy Withers has never backed down from a fight. In fact, he's got the win to show it. Withers comes into this race 2nd in the points. He's well in this championship hunt. The 6-0 Winn-Dixie Ford now behind Toby Estes. It's a much easier road for Tommy Withers to make his way to the top of the table. He comes in only 13 points adrift of Thomas Andrews. Caution is out. Caution is out for the third time today. Again, as we bring up the championship scenarios, Patrick Allen, New Jersey's Patrick Allen, involved in an accident, and Ohio's Terry Gabbard once again caught up in a wreck. Caution flies for the third time in 27 laps at Atlanta. Let's see what happened behind these two. Terry Gabbard seemingly just right into Patrick Allen. Early in lap 27. Let's see if we can run this back just a bit. He's already spinning at this point. We'll have to roll this back. And looks like the 45 just got high. The 4 got under him. Let's take a look here. Well, the 4 just seemingly washes up the track. Let's have a listen, and we'll have a look at the hands of Terry Gabbard as well. On board now with Gabbard, behind Allen. Oh, big slide from Allen. One more look. Have a listen and you be the judge. One more look at the contact. I'm not sure if Gabbard got loose, but he just slides up the racetrack into the middle lane, and around goes Allen. And caution number 3 comes out. Sand 448 in the chat. First time chat as well. Welcome, Sand. Hope you're enjoying this championship. He says he wasn't turning the wheel at all. And in 12 races, as Terry Gabbard comes to a halt, take a look at Thomas Andrews, now your championship leader. In 12 races, I don't believe we've had one that has had 3 cautions. We've run 11 races so far. I believe at least 3 of them have most likely gone caution-free. No yellow flags that I can remember exceeding 3 in any of the 11 previous championship races. So that does set a new record in this final championship round. Most cautions coming in just 27 laps. So Thomas Andrews has the race lead. Jason Alexander from Salem, South Carolina sits in that second position. And Good Hope's Cody Pennell runs in third. Haven't seen much blinking out of Pennell, so he must have gotten that internet situation settled down. There's Alexander. There's Andrews leading this race. We'll see if the Stamford, Connecticut pilot comes down for fuel. Matter of fact, let's bother Tommy real quick. Let's see if we can get a quick word from our championship leader. Thomas Andrews, Rick James, you got me? Thomas Andrews, Rick James. Let's try one more time here. Thomas Andrews, Rick James.
I got you, buddy.
Third time's a charm, buddy. You're leading this championship here ahead of South Carolina's Jason Alexander. We're only 30 laps in. You're going to green in a half lap. Have you figured out the car yet, or is it still too early?
No, these cars are a handful here. I've just been kind of taking it easy. I just want to keep the car one piece and maybe get a top 5 at the end of the race and I'm just points racing at this point. That's kind of why I stayed out here, to kind of lead a couple laps and get that bonus point and see where we wind up.
You're going to green, and the question that everybody's got to know, Thomas Andrews, what's your favorite flavor of ice cream?
Strawberry.
Good answer, buddy. Keep the shiny side up. Hopefully we talk to you soon.
Thanks. Have fun.
I'm having fun. I hope the fans at home are having fun. Thomas Andrews will have fun from the front of this race. Jason Alexander behind him in that 5-6. Cody Pennell sitting in third. It's a Chevy, Dodge, Ford top three. Green flag is out. Elridge George in the wall as the green flag waves on lap 32. We stay green. Thomas Andrews leading with Jason Alexander moving to his inside out of turn number 2. There goes the Mopar Dodge Charger with that 2.8 Haviland Ford Taurus watching in the distance. Dustin Painter decides he's going to dive down to the inside line. The 9-9 of Chicago's Al Simkowski moves into the 5th position. Jason Alexander leading his first lap this race. The South Carolinian has the wheels. But Cody Pennell quickly moves to the inside. It is now a Ford Pontiac top 2 with a Chevrolet and a Dodge battling it out behind them. Dustin Painter moving to the inside, and Painter, he's one of the 4 drivers in this di9 Designs championship fight. Now ahead of Alex Simkowski, he slots into that 2nd position. It's a Ford Pontiac Chevy top 3. Dustin Painter looking to get to the inside of Cody Pennell for the lead, and he just can't quite pull the momentum off. There goes Tom Sears into Jason Alexander, and there goes that's John Honeybrink, who's gone around another one of those black and white cars who's gotten into the wall. We stay green. Briley Wright in the 1.8 to the inside of championship hopeful Thomas Andrews. The 5.6 of Alexander slow on the high side. They're bunching up down the front straight. Will they make it out the other side clean? 3 wide into that first corner. To quote Repeat 1975, it is a hornet's nest. And if you don't know, Repeat, a fantastic broadcaster, twitch.tv/Repeat 1975. Shout out to Danderson24, who just followed as well. Welcome to that TNT championship final. Clayton Hardy making his way through the field. He's in that 9.6 Arby's Ford. He sits 10th at the moment. Dustin Painter sitting in 3rd right now, being overtaken in that 3rd corner. Al Simkowski now to the inside, coming out of turn number 4. Simkowski with a head full of steam, or a tractor full of steam, if you like. The John Deere Green 99 Impala moving behind that Aquafresh Grand Prix, while the Haviland Ford Taurus leads this race 37 laps in. Further on back, Clayton Hardy to the inside, while Florida's Richie Catania occupies the top lane. And there you see Toby Estes back on the lead lap in the 10th position. They call him Peanut Butter for some reason. Richie Catania to the inside of Peanut Butter Estes with Clayton Hardy right behind him. You just can't call him Peanut Butter with a straight face. But that Skull Bandit Chevrolet, one of the fastest drivers all season long. He sits 15th in points due to his part-time schedule, but he is the winningest driver this season in Thursday Night Thunder, going for his 4th victory tonight. At the front, Cody Pennell leading by a humble 0.4 of a second. Dustin Painter with Simkowski filling his rear view mirror in the top 10. Cody Riggs side by side with Tristan Catania. Shout out to all the folks in Greensburg, Kentucky, watching at Smokey's Bar and elsewhere, watching on YouTube and Rick James TV. There goes that number 3 Impala SS right in front of Tristan Catania. And if you're thinking that sounds familiar, that is the sibling of Richie Catania, running in the 11th spot. The 4-8 RaceArcs.com Camaro now to the inside. Two of those Bluegrass Bandits side by side into the third corner. Toby Estes and Cody Riggs battling it out for that 8th position. Estes up 9 places, now 10 places from where he started on the outside of Cody Riggs, and that's going to put Toby Estes into the 8th position. Briley Wright sits 7th, and it's 1, 2, 3 Kentucky. Briley, Toby, and Cody running 7th, 8th, and 9th. No idea why I just said 1, 2, 3. Siblings nose to tail now. Richie in the 2-4, Tristan in the 4-8. The DuPont Chevrolet to the inside of that black number 3 out of that second corner. Richie running a part-time schedule as well, but Atlanta suiting him nicely. A sweet slide out of turn number 2. He's got that 9th spot. Further up, Josh Garrison being hounded by one of the championship hopefuls. Tom Sears in the 1-4 ARCS Toyota Supra chasing that Red Bull Camry. This is the battle sitting in the cockpit of that 14. Two-time Thursday Night Thunder champion Tom Sears in that 14 sits ahead of the 8-4 now, Josh Garrison. 2 Toyotas, nose to tail, 1 Supra, 1 Camry. You've got to love the creativity that's being exhibited here. It's one of the best things about iRacing, one of the best things about these ARCA cars in this Thursday Night Thunder League. Mike Alves following. Appreciate you, Mike. Welcome to Rick James TV. You've got this Toyota Supra of Tom Sears, Garrison in a Toyota Camry, Briley Wright in a NOS Camry, next to the number 60 championship contender, Tommy Withers in the Winn-Dixie Ford Taurus. Big tip of the cap to Mark Martin in that 60. You gotta love it. Further up ahead, Dustin Painter in the Buckshot Jones Aquafresh Grand Prix, sitting second to Cody Pennell in Ricky Rudd's Haviland Ford. It's an unbelievable sight. You gotta love the nostalgia. You just gotta love the celebration of NASCAR and motorsport. It's been a brilliant 4th season of racing, and we still get more than 120 laps of racing to cap off what has been, in my mind, of the 4 seasons of Thursday Night Thunder, unbelievable. Tom Sears. There he is. Big slide for that 1-4 ARCS Supra. Now to the inside of that John Deere Chevrolet, Alex Simkowski. Going back to 4th, Massachusetts, Tom Sears moving, well, almost moving up to 3rd. Can't quite make it stick, but the lime, well, I was going to say lime green. That's more of a day-glow yellow, isn't it? But that Supra, back and forth, running the high side now. Atlanta Motor Speedway has a reputation for being a bit of a cheese grater. 257 grating miles on these good, well, they're not Goodyears anymore, are they? Because they're running the ARCA cars, the General tires. Drivers expected to go between 50 to 60 laps on one green flag run, but given the 3 cautions we had in the first 27 laps of racing, we haven't had one since, and this is our longest green flag run, so we'll see just how far they stretch it. Tom Sears to the inside of Al Simkowski. The 8-4 of Josh Garrison watching in anticipation, with Briley Wright rounding out the top 6 and then second in these point standings. Tommy Withers. We're going to reference these point standings a lot. They are static. They are not live points as the Virginia driver almost slaps the wall out of turn number 4. So these are the points coming into this race. But the scenarios do stand that if Thomas Andrews, the current championship leader in this number 2 Miller Genuine Draft Chevy, if he finishes 8th or worse at this point, well, he's got to lead a lap, pardon me. Thomas Andrews sits 13th right now. If he finishes 7th or better, he clinches the championship. If he leads a lap, he gets a bonus point, and 8th place will wrap up the championship. Tommy Withers almost needs a win just to wrap it up, but again, he's running 13th right now. Anything is possible 50 laps into this event. Briley Wright running 7th right now. On the outside of the 78, Toby Estes. Estes, our hardest charger of the race so far. He's gained 12 places since he started. Garrison in that 8-4 being hunted down big time, and over the last 5 laps, there you can see, well, that's Garrison to Simkowski. Toby Estes to Josh Garrison. He's been chipping at that lead a 10th or more at a time. The 20 of John Honeybrink to the inside. He finds himself in the 15th position, 1 lap off the pace. But the first car, 1 lap down, so if another yellow flag does come out, Honeybrink would get his lap back. A winner in previous Thursday Night Thunder seasons, but winless coming into this 12th and final round of Season 4. He enters this round 6th in the point standings, only 10 markers behind Rockwall's Donald Ray. Ray not in the starting lineup tonight, and it was a grand season for Ray with a victory and an average finish of 8th leading up to this race. We'll see where he tumbles in the standings. Donald Ray will be with us for the 5th season, make no mistake. Simkowski in the 99 sits ahead of Josh Garrison, but only by a 10th of a second. Meanwhile, further back through the field, Tommy Withers and Richie Catania side by side with Briley Wright in the mix. The number 1-8, Noss Camry, sits ahead of the 6-0 and the 2-4 side by side. A little bit of a Winston Cup and Busch Series clash of the paint schemes. 18, 2-4, 60. Well, now 2-4, 18, 60. Richie Catania goes to the inside of Briley Wright. 54 laps underway at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. And if you've just joined us, I'm Rick James, and you're watching the di9 Designs Championship Final from Hotlanta, the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Of course, on iRacing, playing host to this championship. Did those two just make contact out of turn number 2? Two drivers certainly just made contact out of the second corner. I thought they were about to crash there. Let's have a look. Oh, it looked like they made contact. My eyes just fooled me, but man. Everybody's still in one piece. Richie Catania marching towards the top 6. Josh Garrison right now watching Toby Estes just move along the high side. And Al Simkowski, who's had a top 5 car all night long, about to be kicked to the cusp of that top 5. But there goes Peanut Butter scraping the edges of the wall like an empty peanut butter Jif jar. And he's got to get it back together or he's going to have nothing left to make his sandwich out of lap 55 into lap 56. What is a sandwich if there's no peanut butter in it? Just jelly between bread. Who wants to eat that? Toby Estes scraping the outside of that turn 3 wall. Now to the inside of Alex Simkowski. 56 and a half laps into this race. 9, 9, 7, 8, 4th and 5th respectively. Toby Estes with 3 wins this season. Al Simkowski with none, running his part-time schedule. The IndyCar ace with that John Deere Impala just trying to hold off that Skull Bandit Oldsmobile, as it's labeled, in that 5th position. Simkowski still holding on to 4th. Estes making the challenge for that top 4. Meanwhile, Tom Sears sits in 3rd. Dustin Painter in the 2nd position. Painter, Sears, Withers, Andrews, all championship contenders, and on lap 58, Thomas Andrews looks like he comes down pit road. He finds himself 3 laps down after possibly being involved in an incident. It says here John Honeybrink crashed. There's Honeybrink crashing alongside the wall, and this is, not sure if Andrews had anything to do with this, but Andrews may have already found himself 1 lap down. Not sure where he fell through this pit stop cycle, but Andrews right now running in the 16th position, currently 3 laps down. He's got work to do if he wants to get this championship, but he is capable of getting a W. He is well capable. Has an average finish of 8. Tripping over my words here, pardon me. He's got an 8th place average finish, an average start of 10th, but of course that finish is what's going to matter. He's on fresh tires in this 59th lap of competition. Andrew's going to start climbing up through this running order. Clayton Hardy also in pit road, but he's been there for quite some time. We'll see if Clayton gets that car repaired and back onto the racing surface. Cody Pennell leading by 2.5 seconds over North Carolina's Dustin Painter. Pennell with 2 wins this season. He's looking to be the only driver besides Toby Estes to get 3 victories. Fans waiting and seeing when the Georgian will come down for tires and fuel. Dustin Painter following him to complete lap 60. Patrick Allen in the Mountain Dew Chevrolet coming down for service as well. The number 45 has been involved in a couple accidents tonight, but he runs in that 12th position. Native Georgian and cousin of race leader Cody, Ryan Pennell, sitting 11th right now on this pit cycle. He's up 8 places from where he started, and Tristan Catania just on the cusp of the top 10. In an island by himself, that 00 Pontiac sitting in second while the 28 pulls away. Tom Sears over the last 5 laps, not necessarily clawing in the time on Dustin Painter, because that 00 sits right about 2 seconds ahead, almost 3 seconds. It looks like Toby Estes got a little loose in turn number 3, but he is on that move over the last 5 laps. Estes battling through traffic, but for 4 of those 5 laps, he has just been immensely quicker than the Massachusetts pilot. Estes makes his move on the inside of Tom Sears, this for second, while Richie Catania moves to the inside of Al Simkowski for 4th. There goes Estes with ease to the inside of Sears, and Catania does the same with Simkowski. Both the 78 and the 24 moving through this field. They pitted on laps 28 and 29, while the race leaders are in. Cody Pennell leaving the pits now on came down on lap 62, now leaving on 64. Toby Estes, now your new leader, getting around Tom Sears in that 1-4. Richie Catania sitting 3rd. Championship contender Tommy Withers has not come down since lap 28. We'll see when he decides to come down for tires and fuel. Dustin Painter, Al Simkowski, Josh Garrison in that special Red Bull Camry, all getting their service. The 84 is down. He's away, as is Simkowski. Painter not moving. Did he incur a speeding penalty? We'll have to take a look, see if we can find out if he came down with screeching tires or anything, but Painter's been here for quite some time, possibly fixing some sort of repairs. Toby Estes leading this race, not in this championship hunt, but we'll see just what he can do against Cody Pennell. Both of these drivers on a part-time Season 4 schedule, just lighting up the records so far. Richie Catania now in second. He's to the inside of Tom Sears, sliding up that racetrack. There's the 14 of Tom Sears, ceding the second position to Florida's Richie Catania. Catania's got the power. He's got the juice. He's plugged in, and in that second spot, Catania up 14 places from where he started. Catania doing well. Will Richie possibly seal his first win of the season while Toby Estes goes for his fourth? And talk about some hard charging. He's up 17 places from where he started. Cody Pennell was leading at the time this pit stop cycle started. He finds himself in the 6th position. Currently waiting for Toby Estes, Richie Catania, and Tom Sears to come down pit road. Championship leader Thomas Andrews finds himself in 15th. 2 laps down. He's going to have to claw some time back and see just what exactly happened to that 2-car of Sears. Finds himself in 15th. Cody Riggs in 10th. He also finds himself 1 lap down. Cody Pennell in 6th. And all these cars just waiting for the top 3 to come down and get their tires. Toby Estes has been 40 laps on these general tires. We'll see how much longer the fuel lasts. The pit window expecting 50 to 60 laps, but we'll have that adjusted. The di9 Designs Track Facts estimating just a bit long, but that's all right. Now we know 40 to 50 laps is going to be that expected pit stop time. Pit window, excuse me. Drivers with a pit stop time of approximately between 13 to 15 seconds. Toby Estes has a nice race so far with Catania in tow by 2.2 seconds. Tommy Withers, one of those championship contenders, sitting in 3rd, but here comes Cody Pennell, Briley Wright in tow. Cody Riggs to the inside. He pitted on lap 54. He's got fresh tires. There's the 18 making contact with the 00. There's the NOS Camry into the wall, sliding down with just a right front tire locked up and not moving. We stay green. Estes leads. Catania's in 2nd. Tommy Withers sitting in 3rd. Cody Pennell, he last pitted on lap 62. Waiting for the top 3 to come down pit road. Everybody continues to cycle around. Green flag stays out. There's one of those 3 Bluegrass Bandits in tonight's roster. Briley Wright in the NOS Camry, wounded and damaged after contact with the 00 of Dustin Painter. One of those 4 championship contenders. Tom Sears behind him in the 8th position, but Sears finds himself 1 lap down. Is the 00 hurt? Will he keep it moving? There's the damage on the right-hand side of Dustin Painter. It doesn't look like anything is too terrible. We'll see if we can run this back and have a look, because that was quite a hard hit for Briley Wright. It looked like a hard hit for Dustin Painter as well. See if we can move further up. There's the contact right there. Let's run this one back. It's so hard to tell from that angle, but we'll see. Oh, it looks like it was a chain reaction. The 60 of Tommy Withers got into the wall. Tommy Withers getting into the wall. And now questions have to be asked about the 6-0 car. Is Withers still good to run all the way to the end? Does he have harder damage than the 00? You can see the fender is pushed in on that 60, but Withers still fast enough to get to the inside of Cody Pennell. Has something gone wrong with the 28? He has inherited that lead as Toby Estes has come down pit road on lap 72 for fresh tires and fuel. Tom Sears on lap 67 and Dustin Painter on lap 63, hopefully getting some of that damage repaired, no doubt. 74 laps into this race, Cody Pennell leads with Al Simkowski in that second position. Josh Garrison sits in third in the Red Bull Camry. Tom Sears sitting in fourth on the outside of Dustin Painter. Those two not fighting for position. Painter finds himself in 12th, 1 lap down. 10 cars on the lead lap, but drivers off cycle by about 10 to 14 laps at the moment. We'll have to see what strategy comes out on top. Again, these are the points coming into this race. Thomas Andrews leading the standings with 446 markers, 13 points behind him. Tommy Withers with 433. BFog96 says, let's see Lurkin. His schemes are always fire. There is that 1-4 of Tom Sears, a.k.a. Lurkin Tom Gaming, as he's known on the Xbox side. That Dayglow Yellow 1-4, Arcs Toyota Supra running in fourth right now. The highest running of all the championship contenders. Thomas Andrews, the points leader, still running in 13th, but just 1 lap off the pace. Dustin Painter is next in line by 4.3 seconds, and these are huge championship implications. The two of Thomas Andrews now trying to hunt down Painter over the last 5 laps. You can see Painter has been quicker than Andrews, but will the Connecticut pilot get the bit between his teeth? He pitted on lap 54. Dustin Painter pitted on lap 63. 9 laps of wear, the difference between them. Cody Pennell exiting turn number 4. He has a 10-second lead, almost to Al Simkowski, who's 4 seconds and counting ahead of Josh Garrison. Over the last 5 laps, Garrison just not as quick as Simkowski, but we'll see this time around on lap 77. Josh Garrison just a little bit quicker than Al Simkowski. The tide starting to turn. Toby Estes, no, that's Jason Alexander, the South Carolinian, is coming down pit road for tires and fuel, and the Salem native brings his Mopar Dodge Charger down into the pits for service. That's going to elevate Cody Riggs into the 9th position. Kentucky's very own, about 4 seconds off the back end of Tristan Catania. He and Tommy Withers nose to tail. Catania with tires that are a bit less fresh than Withers. Withers trying to get a bit further up on Tom Sears. He's up into the 7th position right now. Again, 13 points, the gap between this second place driver and Thomas Andrews, who's slowly sneaking his way up through this field. He's up into the 12th position, just 1 lap off the pace. And again, the stops are off cycle, meaning some drivers will be coming down about 15 to 20 laps further down in the race than other drivers. The caution could come out at any time and trap some drivers possibly a lap down. Anything could happen. Cody Pennell's lead being cut into just a bit. Al Simkowski now within 9 seconds to Cody Pennell. The Chicago, Illinois native trying to get around Ohio's Terry Gabbard, who finds himself in 14th, 2 laps off the pace. John Honeybrink, he's running 14th. He's just gotten around Terry Gabbard for that 14th spot. He last pitted on lap 70, where Al Simkowski pitted on lap 63. But the 2-0 Home Depot Impala puts the pressure on the 99 John Deere Chevy. He gets around him. Again, not for position, but Honeybrink, perhaps he's trying to get an advantageous position if a caution comes out. We're almost to the halfway mark. 8.7 seconds the gap between this driver here, Georgia's Cody Pennell, and Illinois' Al Simkowski, while Tom Sears has taken over the 3rd position and slowly climbing up towards the top. Again, Dustin Painter or Tom Sears can win the championship with a win, and Thomas Andrews finishing 10th or worse. Again, we've got to adjust for laps led further on down in this race. But with Thomas Andrews currently in 12th and Tom Sears in 3rd, it's going to be anybody's fight all the way down to these final few laps. So make sure you don't go anywhere. This di9 Designs championship fight is well up for grabs amongst any of our championship 4. Josh Garrison on the outside of Toby Estes. He had a bit of a wiggle out of turn number 2, and he folds out of 3rd place into, out of 4th place into 5th. Toby Estes up 14 places once again. 2.3 seconds the difference between him and Tom Sears. Patrick Allen goes around out of turn number 4 on his way down into pit road. He's gone for a spin. No yellow comes out. Let's have another look. Look at that Tokyo drift out of the 3rd corner. He really possibly made contact with that, with the outside of turn number 3. Makes it on down into pit road, not scraping the wall. Cody Riggs sits in 10th right now. Georgia's Ryan Pennell sits just ahead of him. Ryan last pitted on lap 54, so his tire's about 30 laps old. Cody pitting. I've got this backwards. I'm reading these numbers wrong. Where am I? Cody Riggs last pitted on lap 54. Ryan Pennell last pitted on lap 68. So Pennell's up into the 9th position. He's got 1 win this season. That was at Talladega several weeks ago in an incredible last lap finish. Pennell sits in 9th. Tristan Catania in the 8th position, but those drivers separated by 12 seconds on the racetrack. Cody Riggs has decided he wants to come down pit road, and possibly the 2nd green flag window opening up with just over 80 laps remaining. Cody Pennell still leads this race. Cody Riggs comes down pit road. The Georgian has his 8.9 second advantage over Illinois' Al Simkowski, but Tom Sears has slowly been reeling in the Chicago native. That is the difference over the last 5 laps. 9/10, 5 laps ago, 4/10, look at that, almost 6/10, half a second, 3/10 last time around, and on lap 87, Tom Sears, about 2/10 quicker than Al Simkowski. The gap now, 8/10 of a second, just before the pit window, but we'll see whose tires last all the way through this 2nd window. We'll see if a yellow flag comes out. We've had 3 so far. Are we overdue, or will we see this one green to the end? This championship final has had so many scenarios blown wide open. Tom Sears, 0.7 of a second behind Al Simkowski and counting. Toby Estes, however, sneaking up. That Skull Bandit quietly making his way in. Has Simkowski hit the wall at a turn number 2? It looks like he just might have. A puff of smoke came up out of the wall. Or was that Patrick Allen having a spill? The New Jersey pilot finds himself slow, and the caution comes out. There it is. Yellow flag is out in the middle of the green flag pit window. This 90th lap of competition sees the yellow fly. You did see that puff of smoke at a turn number 2. Let's see what happened. Well, there's the yellow flag right there, but I can't see what possibly brought that out. Jacket FND in the chat says, "Let's go Lurkin," cheering for Tom Sears and Donald Ray, sitting 5th in the point standings tonight. Hopefully you're having safe travels, Don. It's a shame you couldn't be here, buddy, but we can't wait for Season 5 to start. We'll get you back in. Cody Pennell and company all coming down pit road. Al Simkowski, Tom Sears. Jacket says that's a bogus caution. Well, let's talk to a driver here, one of our championship contenders, and see what he thinks about that. Tom Sears in that number 2. I'm sorry, not Tom Sears. Tom Andrews. There's a lot of Toms tonight. We're going to let him come down pit road. We're going to let him focus on not speeding down pit road here while he comes for service. Tom Sears is on his way out of pit road. Richie Catania looks like he'll assume the lead here. Let's talk with the Floridian. Richie Catania, Rick James up top. Can you hear me, bud?
What's up, Rick? What's going on, man?
I'm having so much fun, man. It's the TNT Season 4 Championship Final. Jack at FND in the chat, you know Donald Ray, calling out, says that's a bogus caution. What happened? What brought out this fourth yellow of the day?
Seems like Patrick Allen spun around, and then on the chat it sounded like Stitch hit him, but obviously we know that did not happen. So unfortunately, really messed with my tire strategy. I ran a nice long run prior to that and could have had myself, looking pretty towards the end of this race, but just going to toss it around a little bit. Decided to stay out, though.
You're looking good in that 2.4 DuPont Chevrolet. Tires have been paramount, but you only get 4 changes in this race. You last pitted on lap 71, which means you're going to have 19 laps of difference to Cody Pennell, who's going to be starting second. Matter of fact, Richie, you've got the oldest tires on the field. How are you going to handle it?
Yeah, unfortunately, I got into that early accident, so I had to take tires. So I really have to stretch these out just to make sure I have enough to the end. So kind of gambling here to hope that maybe a caution comes out in the next 10, 15 laps, and we'll see what happens, Rick. I got nothing to lose here.
Hey, best of luck, Richie. You got to roll the dice in the championship final, buddy. Keep the shiny
yeah.
side up. I almost forgot the most important question of the evening. Rich, what is your favorite flavor of ice cream?
Cookie dough, man.
Good answer. Good answer, Rich. Good luck.
All right, later, man.
So Richie Catania has control of the field in the 2.4 DuPont Chevrolet. Jack at FND cheering 1,000 bits in the chat. My man, Donald Ray. Gotta love that generosity. Love you, buddy. Send my love to the family and the whole Ray family. Hopefully, you get to where you're going safely. Cody Pennell on the outside line. He sits second with Tom Sears behind him, running in third. 93 laps underway in this championship final. 6 different scenarios that can decide this title. Thomas Andrews coming into this race with a 13-point lead, and he now finds himself just 1 lap down. It was about 30 laps ago he found himself 3 laps down. He's now in 11th, on the cusp of getting on this lead lap, and the scenarios follow as this. Tommy Withers not getting a pole means that Thomas Andrews can clinch this title with a 7th place finish. Tristan Bailey subscribing as well. Appreciate you, Tristan. Welcome. Love you, bud. 7th place wraps up the championship for Thomas Andrews. However, if Thomas Andrews finishes 8th or worse, Tommy Withers may come away with this title. If it's not Tommy Withers, Dustin Painter or Tom Sears in the 00 and the 14 respectively can come away with this win. Richie Catania gets the green. We're racing again. Cody Riggs, he came down on lap 85. He's putting those tires to work in that number 3 Smokies Chevrolet. Richie Catania coming out of turn number 4, 3 wide with Estes and with the 5-6. The Mopar Dodge of Jason Alexander to the inside of Toby Estes. Estes sitting in 5th right now. Alexander finds himself the first car 1 lap down. He's 3 wide once again. There's the DuPont Chevrolet being passed by his younger brother, Tristan Catania. That's the move for the 4th position. Cody Riggs at the front of this field with John Honeybrink to his inside. Everybody wants to be that first car 1 lap down. Dustin Painter sitting in 10th on the tail end of that lead lap. Here comes race leader Cody Pennell and he could change any of these three drivers' futures. But Tom Sears making his move to the outside. Again, Sears can win this championship with a win here tonight and a bit of fortune for him, with Thomas Andrews finishing outside the top 9 positions. If the two of Thomas Andrews leads a lap, he may be able to get away with this title, finishing 11th or worse. Right now, he runs 12th. Just under 80 laps to go. Tom Sears on the outside line. He's your new leader at Atlanta. Dustin Painter, the first car, the last car on the lead lap. Right now, the 3 of Cody Riggs in that Smokies Chevrolet is the first car, 1 lap down. The 9-9, Al Simkowski, he's currently sitting in that 3rd position. The 5-6 behind him, Jason Alexander, he's running in 11th, the first car. Well, the first car 1 lap down, given that Cody Riggs, he's running in 13th. He's the first car 2 laps down, pardon me. John Honeybrink now moving to the inside. That's the move for 13th. Honeybrink also 2 laps down, now getting the spot away from Riggs. Simkowski watching all of this unfold while the 5-6 of Jason Alexander creeps up behind him. But then Tristan Catania and that 7-8 of Toby Estes, they're making their way up through this field. Catania 5th, Estes in that 4th position. Tommy Withers, he's sitting in that 60 Winn-Dixie Ford, and there's Thomas Andrews just behind him. Both of these drivers separated by 13 points before the green flag flew. Still 68 laps to determine this Season 4 championship. Andrews, with the long race strategy, has plenty of time to get back inside that top 10. There's Patrick Allen loose out of turn number 2, and it's been a rough night for that 45 Mountain Dew Chevrolet. Seth Dub9 in the chat. The KC masterpiece. Seth Wansing not in this race tonight. He's had a grand season as well. Into this final round, Seth Wansing came in 8th in the points. Tristan Catania about 25 points behind Seth Wansing. But Wansing looking like he'll get a top 10 finish in the points. Not a bad season for him at all, and will more than likely see Seth Wansing in Season 5. One of the championship contenders, Tom Sears, he sits in the 2nd position. About 0.4 of a second behind Cody Pennell. Illinois' Al Simkowski directly behind him in the 3rd position. Toby Estes in 4th, about 0.7 behind him. Seth Dub says, love you, Ray. Great call so far. Caught up at work. I love you too, man. I hope you and your family are doing well and having fun there in Kansas City. Be safe. The 7-8 of Toby Estes moving on the inside of that 2-0 car. Not for position, though. John Honeybrink running in 13th. Toby Estes in 4th. And there's Seth confirming we'll see him for sure in the 5th season of Thursday Night Thunder. Quick shot of Ryan Pennell there with a little bit of a glitch. Dustin Painter, he's running in 10th. The last car on the lead lap right now, the 00 Aqua Fresh Pontiac, one of the 4 championship contenders. Painter right up there towards the lead in this first stanza of the race. Right now running in 10th. The yellow flag coming out in the middle of that pit cycle. Patrick Allen claiming that the 99 of Al Simkowski got into him and turned him around out of turn number 2. We'll review that one more time. There's the 99 of Simkowski currently running in the 3rd position. The John Deere Green Chevrolet trying to run down that Dayglow colored 1-4 Toyota Supra of Tom Sears. Simkowski getting closer, but will he make that move? Toby Estes, he gets to the inside of that 5-6 Mopar Dodge. Jason Alexander, the South Carolinian, and trying to hold off the Skull Bandit. Jacket FND says TNT is the absolute best racing on the platform. I could not agree less. I was telling a lot of the guys earlier today, this really is my bread and butter. This is hands down my favorite league, and I'm incredibly glad that I came for Season 4, and I certainly hope TNT thrives in Season 5 and beyond. To quote Ghetto Boys, till 2000 and forever. So here's to TNT. Here's to the next 61 laps of this championship. Tom Sears in the second position right now. Thomas Andrews running in 12th. By my quick math, which is probably wrong, Tom Sears is leading this championship fight. Al Simkowski sits in the third position right now. We'll have to see where the points fall, but it's still anybody's race with 59 laps remaining next time by. Cody Pennell has just led an insane amount of laps. He most likely will clinch most laps led here very soon. That 2-8 going for his third win this season, but it's this man here in the 7-8. Peanut Butter Estes in that Skull Bandit Oldsmobile. You see the label right there on the front valence. That 7-8 Oldsmobile going for his fourth win this season. The Greensburg pilot chasing down the Good Hope driver. But here comes Tom Sears. Here comes Tom Sears inside the final 60 laps. And when I say championship implications, I mean it. The 1-4 trying to defend his Thursday Night Thunder championship, going for his third championship in 4 seasons, chasing down Cody Pennell. Thomas Andrews, he's made his way up to 11th as a couple drivers come down pit road. Andrews has not yet led a lap. He can clinch with a 7th place finish, but we'll have to see where this race ends up. Still more than 55 laps to go in the Thursday Night Thunder final. Cody Pennell leads. Tom Sears in second. Al Simkowski in third. Let's ride along shotgun with Toby Estes. The 5-6 of Alexander trying to get to the inside of Simkowski. He wants one of his laps back, and the South Carolinian has decided it's go time. Now gets around that John Deere Chevrolet. Tom Sears diligently following the leader of Cody Pennell, just saving his stuff right now. The 2-8 Haviland Ford looking for his third win, and the 1-4 Arcs Supra looking for his third championship. We've never had a back-to-back champion in TNT before. That's what's at stake for Sears, but not if Thomas Andrews has anything to say about it. He is getting closer to that 10 of Jason Alexander. There goes Sears to the inside of Pennell. Fight for the lead out of turn number 4. Tom Sears, new leader at the Atlanta Motor Speedway, and as the points run now, he is your Season 4 champion, but still more than 53 laps to go. Pennell on the high side with Alexander to his inside. Estes forcing the issue on the outside of Jason Alexander. He's in third. He wants a piece of the top spot as well. Tom Sears leading this race, and it's his title to lose. His championship to throw in the garbage. Cody Pennell now coming to his inside. Is he possibly taking the title away from the 14? What are the thoughts in the 2 camp? Is Andrews rejoicing with the news of Pennell now moving to the inside and getting ahead of Tom Sears? Here comes Jason Alexander fighting for his lap back. Will he be a factor in this championship fight? The 7-8 of Estes going for 4 wins in that Skoal Oldsmobile. How far will he make it on this set of tires? Sears on the outside, Pennell to the inside, 115 laps complete, and still so much more championship racing to go. Bit of a 3 wide, Jason Alexander with a big slide out of turn number 2, but the fearless, and I mean fearless, South Carolinian in that Mopar Dodge Charger really hanging a big slide down the front straight, and I told you he was fearless. Not afraid to keep his foot in it. 3 wide, and the 56 lets off, getting around the hometown, one of 2 hometown drivers, Ryan Pennell, in that Hooters Ford. He's sitting 10th right now. And if you haven't seen that Talladega round of Thursday Night Thunder, you can find it on the Rick James YouTube channel. Just go watch the last couple of laps. What an unbelievable display of grit to get that win. 50 laps to go in Season 4. Cody Pennell ahead of Tom Sears by half a second. Toby Estes now challenging for that 3rd position. Al Simkowski also in the mix. The top 4, 7/10 away. Tom Sears scraping his championship hopes on the outside of the turn 2 wall at Atlanta, and the ARC's Supra is damaged. The only question with 49 laps to go is how bad is the crash? Is the scrape enough to keep him from advancing through this field? He picked up a knock, but he's still in fighting shape. The 14 keeps on rolling. He's still well in this championship hunt. Thomas Andrews has moved up to 10th. Now 2 seconds behind Jason Alexander. Over the last 5 laps, Andrews has really been moving at a good clip. Slowly moving into 9th, and Andrews only finds himself 3.5 seconds behind Tristan Catania. 7th place to clinch, but if Tommy Withers, Tom Andrews, Dustin Painter don't move up through this field, 8th will be good enough. Possibly even the 9th that he's found himself in right now. Green flag pit stop cycles have opened at Atlanta for the 3rd time today, and the last time a green flag cycle opened up, we had a caution. 47 laps to go for Cody Pennell. Toby Estes rolling in that 2nd position. Al Simkowski sitting in 3rd to the inside of Tom Sears. Is Sears just calming it down, gathering himself? Or did that scrape on the outside of 2 knock the toe out of the car? Here comes Thomas Andrews in that 2. He's sitting in 9th. Tristan Catania just 2 seconds ahead and counting. The championship slowly being reeled in by the Connecticut pilot, but what will the Massachusetts driver have to say about it? The North Carolinian Dustin Painter finds himself in 6th right now. Still 1 more pit stop left for the Aquafresh Pontiac, and the championship could be his if it all sorts out his way. Tommy Withers, 1 position higher in 5th. He's only 13 points behind Thomas Andrews, and still 1 more pit stop for all of our championship contenders. Al Simkowski ahead of Tom Sears by 3/10. Toby Estes marching on to the 28 of Cody Pennell. These 2 percentage-wise, the most successful drivers this season. And the comparison over the last 5 miles of racing. Toby Estes just chipping away at Cody Pennell's lead. 123 laps about to be completed. Estes behind Pennell by 7/10. Tom Sears now on the cusp of overtaking Al Simkowski. Sears' championship still nowhere near from being done. Cody Riggs being overtaken by Ryan Pennell, the Georgia driver, still with plenty of fight in that Hooters Ford. He came down on lap 120, his tires 35 laps fresher than Cody Riggs, who came down on lap 85. And now we're going to see the difference in tires. Tristan Catania pitted on lap 107. Richie, his brother, pitted on lap 108. Tristan just clocking in his fastest lap of the race. All of the top 8 have not pitted since lap 90. Their tires 35 laps old. Cody Riggs comes down. Tom Sears is in the wall. There goes the 14 with another slide. Is that the car? Telling him he needs one more set of tires. Is 41 laps too far to make that final pit stop? Is he just nursing the car and hoping it will go another 5 or 6 laps? How much longer will the championship contenders hold on? Dustin Painter, Thomas Andrews, they last pitted on laps 89 and 90 respectively. Their tires over 35 laps old. Is it now down to who will make the least number of mistakes? Tommy Withers in 5th on the lead lap, watching championship leader Thomas Andrews 1 lap down move to his inside. Cody Pennell, he also last pitted on lap 90. Toby Estes has reeled in Pennell to within 0.6 of a second, but not yet able to catch up any further or get around him. The car's possibly getting loose, the drivers possibly hoping this final set of tires will go all the way to the end. We predicted 50 to 60 laps would be the distance these drivers could go on the General tires and that Sunoco race fuel. But it's closer to 40 to 50 laps. Some drivers not able to even go 40 laps, so we'll see just how far they stretch it. Cody Pennell and Toby Estes approaching their 40th lap on these tires. We'll see who blinks first amongst the top 8 drivers. And yes, Thomas Andrews is in the 8th position, with Tom Sears in the 4th spot, Tommy Withers in 5th. Andrews is back on top of the live table. These are points coming into round number 12. But if my horrible, incorrect math is actually correct this time, Thomas Andrews is leading the championship with just over 38 laps to go. Cody Pennell ahead of Toby Estes by half a second. Richie Catania's gone around. The 2-4 DuPont Chevy has crashed. We stay green. Cody Pennell ahead of Toby Estes. What happened to the 2-4? A possible blink. A big blink. Something there happened to the 24 car, where he just went around. And have another look. This is a huge blink here. Look at the sparks, and then you just see him get just absolutely destroyed there. Let's have one more look here. Let's run this back. Not sure where in the world this could have happened, but we're trying to see who was near that 24 car. We're still green. Arcatania there saying Ryan lagged into me. So there's the blink from the 12, and there it is, Ryan Pennell in the 12 with a blink. And Catania immediately jumping to the pits. Race leader Cody Pennell 0.3 of a second ahead of Toby Estes, who's sliding up off that white line. Estes behind the 2-8 now. Both of these drivers separated by 0.2 of a second. 35 laps to go next time by. Estes on the inside of Pinnell. Third place, Al Simkowski is 3 seconds adrift. Tom Sears almost 3 seconds behind Simkowski, and he's watching Thomas Andrews on the same tires that Andrews has, now slowly reeling him in. Andrews has been getting even closer to Jason Alexander. 5 seconds now the difference. Tommy Withers is in. Here's the money stop for championship contender Tommy Withers, coming down for tires and fuel for the final time today. That 6-0 car. Will this be the stop that wins him the title? He's running in 5th. Toby Estes gets around Cody Pinnell, and he is your new leader for the first time today. Cody Pinnell slowing down the Haviland Ford, and he will come down for his final stop of the afternoon. Inside the final 35, Tom Sears moves into 2nd. Toby Estes leading Tom Sears by 0.6. Thomas Andrews into 7th. No matter what the competitors do, a 7th place finish should be enough for Thomas Andrews to clinch this championship. But of course, all of these drivers still require one more stop. A speeding penalty there could be the end of the championship. Andrews on his way in. He's got to get it woe down to 55, 45 is it? And does brilliantly. Andrews gets it down. He's not going to get that speeding penalty. We hope. Gosh, I really hope I didn't just jinx him. But he's coming down pit road in that 9th position. Toby Estes comes down pit road. So that makes your new leader, Tom Sears, in the 1-4. Still, one more stop waiting for him. And for 3rd place, Jason Alexander. Could the South Carolinian pull out a surprise win? He comes flying down into pit road. Hopefully he doesn't get a speeding ticket as well. Same goes for this driver here. Sears looking to be the first back-to-back champion in TNT history. He's got a huge points mountain to climb. He's going to need a lot of help and a little bit of misfortune sprinkled on some of his championship competitors. Sears comes into this race tied for 3rd with Dustin Painter. He finds himself 15 points behind. Sears is in. Doesn't look like he came down speeding at all. Tom Sears now waiting for Cody Pinnell to overtake him. It'll be 31 laps to go this time by for Cody Pinnell. Toby Estes sits in 2nd by 3 seconds on the clock. Sears is in the pits. When will he come out? Cody Pinnell, new leader once again, still waiting for Tom Sears to leave pit road. But he'll have fresher tires than his competitors. He's down and he's away. The defending champion with a pit stop time of 14.82 seconds. He's got fresh tires, matter of fact, the freshest on the track. And now he can go chase that title. Cody Pinnell leading. Toby Estes just ran his fastest lap of the race, 31.97 seconds. Al Simkowski in 3rd, 3.2 seconds behind. There's Josh Garrison in 4th. Tommy Withers in the 5th position. Thomas Andrews rejoins the racetrack on lap 133, 4 seconds behind Jason Alexander, 15 seconds behind 7th place Ryan Pinnell. And 7th place is the clinching position for Thomas Andrews. That's where he wants to be 29 laps from now. Cody Pinnell lapping his cousin Ryan in the 7th position. 6 cars left on the lead lap. There is that 6th car. Tom Sears finding himself 8 seconds behind Josh Garrison. Green for the South Carolinian. Jason Alexander running his fastest lap, a 31.97 seconds. Great job for him. There's the relative drivers on the relative lap. Josh Garrison being reeled in by Alexander and now being overtaken on the racetrack. Cody Pannell ahead by 2.5 seconds. Toby Estes behind him, starting to get just a bit closer. There you see Dustin Painter behind him. He does find himself one lap down. Toby Estes next on the racetrack. There he is, 2.5 seconds. The drivers in the bottom right-hand corner, that's where they are. They're ordered in position they are on the racetrack. So next we'll see Ryan Pannell. There he is entering turn number 3. And Al Simkowski, he finds himself in third, one lap ahead of Pannell. There he is in that third position. So Cody Pannell's leading, but he's being hunted down by good friend Toby Estes. 5 wins between these drivers in 12 rounds that we're running so far. And if either of them gets the W tonight, it will be 6 wins between Cody Pannell and Toby Estes in less than, and I believe this is true, less than 12 combined starts. We'll have to check the math on that, but they have put up just video game numbers, pun intended, in this season so far. The championship final, a great celebration of all the talent we've had all season, and it's going to be a great celebration of this championship fight. Tommy Withers is moving up through the field. He's only 0.6 behind Al Simkowski. Withers up into third. If he can just get around that John Deere Chevrolet. Further on back, Tom Sears is in 6th. He's 1.3 seconds and counting behind Josh Garrison, who's slow out of that 4th corner. This is going to put Tom Sears into the top 5, getting around Josh Garrison, while Tommy Withers is also making his way around Al Simkowski. Thomas Andrews starting to reel in Jason Alexander. 6.5 seconds has been the difference, but over these last 5 laps, Andrews has gotten some heat in his tires, he's gotten some groove in his tires, and he's now trying to get closer up to Alexander. The goal tonight for Andrews, 7th or better. Dustin Painter in that 7th position, 16 seconds ahead. 22 laps to go next time by. There's race leader Cody Pannell. He's just put Richie Catania in that 2-4 car. A 4th lap down. Catania involved in that accident. He said he got a little bit of lag from the 12 of Ryan Pannell, and it sent the 24 spinning. Now, earlier on, we had a yellow flag here. The 45 of Patrick Allen went around. Said he got a little bit of a tag from the 99 of Al Simkowski, so we'll try and run this back and see where the 45 got that tag. And we'll run this back here. And, well, there's the caution. There's Patrick Allen spinning. And there's Al Simkowski now going around Patrick Allen, who spun out of turn number 2. We'll have to look into that one as well. Allen claiming the 99 got into him, but the results show that was a lie. Cody Pannell leading by 1.7 seconds. Toby Estes slowly reeling him in. Tommy Withers in third by 7 seconds. And Al Simkowski only 0.6 behind him with 20 laps to go at Atlanta. And if you've recently tuned in, I'm Rick James and you're watching the di9 Designs Thursday Night Thunder Championship Final. The Atlanta Motor Speedway hosting this 257-mile event, the longest race of the season, and the first ever championship final on iRacing for the Thursday Night Thunder Series. Tom Sears, one of our Championship 4 coming into this race. He's running in 5th. We say Championship 4 not through a playoff system, but the 4 drivers that are eligible mathematically to win this title, there they are highlighted. Sears tied with Dustin Painter for the 3rd position in points. These drivers separated by just 1 spot. Sears in 5th, Painter in 6th. Tommy Withers and Al Simkowski separated by just 0.6 of a second. The Winn-Dixie Ford has had a marvelous championship fight so far. His closest rival, there he is, Thomas Andrews. Next on that ladder, 13 points the difference between them. Andrews just 1.6 seconds behind Ryan Pennell. This could be the move that seals the title for Thomas Andrews. But again, we'll have to see where the points sift out 17 and a half laps from now. There's Pennell making way for the 2 of Thomas Andrews. And Ryan Pennell, ever the gentleman with that intermittent internet connection, makes way for Andrews. Hats off to Pennell. The hometown driver going for his 2nd win tonight. Couldn't quite pull that one off. But still running in the top 9, you gotta give it to him. Honestly, there's still plenty of race to go, plenty of race for Pennell. I shouldn't be so defeatist. He's got to win this season. He's done brilliantly. Thomas Andrews up into 8th, only 6.3 seconds behind Jason Alexander. We'll see if Andrews puts the foot down and tries to chase down that South Carolinian. Toby Estes in that 7-8, 1 second behind Cody Pennell, who's leading this race. The driver from Good Hope, Georgia, trying to secure his 3rd victory. That looks like smoke in the air. Did a driver go around? Looks like we're all good here. Imagine if that yellow flag comes out with 15 laps to go. Can we say championship implications? Cody Pennell has driven an absolute masterclass in that 2.8 Haviland Ford. He's leading by only 1 second, but he's got only 5 cars on this lead lap. 2 of those 5 cars, championship fighters. Tom Sears in 5th, Tommy Withers in 3rd. Quite a distance off this race for the lead, but it's going to be a brilliant fight all the way to the end. Tom Sears trying to claw every last point he can. He's reeling in that John Deere Green 99 of Al Simkowski, sitting in 4th. Cody Riggs still making hay while the sun shines. He's trying to chase down Ohio's Terry Gabbard, who, credit to Terry Gabbard, he's been involved in 3 yellow flags tonight, but he's in the top 11 positions so far. Cody Riggs trying to get a piece of that top 11, and here come the champion, well, here comes the race leader and the championship fighters behind them. Cody Pennell being reeled in by Toby Estes. Dustin Painter, one of those 4 drivers, mathematically in reach of the title. Will he fight for his lap back behind the 2.8? Lucky number 13, laps to go. Pennell moves to the high side, Painter to the low side. Pennell in the 2.8 retains his position. Toby Estes falling outside 1 second. While Tom Sears gets to the inside of Al Simkowski. This is the overtake for the 4th position. The Dayglow Arcs Supra gets another point in this championship fight. Thomas Andrews is in 8th. He last pitted on lap 133. He's got 20 laps of wear on his tires. And with 12 laps remaining, he finds himself 6.9 seconds behind Jason Alexander. And if there's one guy who knows his math, one guy who knows his strategy, it's Thomas Andrews. Never gamble against this man when it comes to fuel or tire strategy, but you can believe he's got his math strategy worked out as well. With Tommy Withers sitting in 3rd, it does not look like 3rd is good enough for Withers to get the title away from Andrews, with Andrews finishing in the 8th position. A lot of math to work out. We'll let you know just 11 short laps from now, but Cody Pennell has a mirror full of Toby Estes. Dustin Painter does get his lap back and moves into a brilliant position if the caution comes out. Toby Estes now to the inside of Cody Pennell. This for the race lead with under 10 laps to go. Estes wants a piece of that lead. He wants his 4th win of the season. Does he have the tires? Is he burning up precious grip on that rubber, side by side, almost leaning on each other through turns 3 and 4? Pennell cedes the lead. Estes, new leader at Atlanta. Pennell can't give him the crossover out of 4, but it's certainly not over yet. 9 at the line and still more than 8 great laps to go. Dustin Painter in 6th, hoping that a caution brings him back to the tail end of this field. Toby Estes now leading by 0.3 of a second and running away with this top spot, but it's now his race to lose with 8 laps to go. Will Pennell be patient and wait, or will he let these final 8 laps come to him, saving those tires on the high side? Thomas Andrews, 7.8 seconds behind Jason Alexander and 8 seconds ahead of Ryan Pennell on an island by himself. He's keeping it cool to the end. Tommy Withers, 9 seconds off the top 2. Will this 3rd place be enough? Once again, the points coming into the final round. Quick math tells us Withers just needs a couple more places to get that championship. Tom Sears behind him by 1 second. Sears only 2 points behind Tommy Withers. Not only is Sears trying to break that 3rd place deadlock with Dustin Painter, he's trying to get past that 60 car and possibly seal 2nd place in the championship. 6 laps to go for Greensburg, Kentucky's Toby Estes. They call him Peanut Butter, and he drives the Skull Bandit Oldsmobile car in Thursday Night Thunder. You better watch out for him in Season 5. But before he puts a cap on Season 4, he wants to wrap it up with a 4th win. Big blink from the 78 car. But he looks like he's stable once again. Terry Gabbard in 11th. He's fought back all afternoon long, and it looks like he's going to secure a top 11 finish. Tristan Catania, the New Jersey pilot, out by himself. Big slide out of turn number 2. But the RaceArcs.com Chevy still in one piece. Tommy Withers watching Tom Sears get closer. There's Cody Riggs on the high side in the smoky Chevrolet. Riggs scrapes the wall trying to get out of the way of Sears. Took one for the team. Hats off Cody Riggs. But now Tom Sears chasing down Withers for 3rd. Let's ride in the passenger seat with the 14 Supra. Sears to the inside. Withers scrapes the wall. Tommy Withers scrapes the wall. Tom Sears moves to the inside, and he's got the bronze medal position coming to the final 2 laps of racing. Less than 3 miles left in this 4th Thursday Night Thunder season. What an incredible 12 races it's been so far. Toby Estes took that lead from Cody Pannell and was not looking back. White flag in the air for Greensburg's Toby Estes. Cody Pannell 2 seconds adrift. Tom Sears sitting in third. Thomas Andrews in the 8th position. Andrews needs 7th to clinch. Is a 3rd place finish from Sears enough? Sears has led a lap in this race. He will receive 1 bonus point. White flag is out for Sears. There's Andrews in 8th, who's also collected the white flag. There's Toby Estes through 3 and 4. He's going to put an unbelievable cap on this part-time season. It's Toby's 4th win in TNT. Brilliant win for Toby Estes, making that race-winning pass with 10 laps to go. Tom Sears finishing in 3rd. Tommy Withers in 4th. That pass happening inside the final 10 laps. Thomas Andrews coming home in the 8th position. We're going to sort out the points. We're going to sort out this championship. We're going to tell you quite soon, after our celebrations here, where our championship 4 ended up. But for now, we're going to celebrate Greensburg's Toby Estes with his 4th win of the season. Brilliantly done for Toby Estes. You haven't seen a performance like this since, well, seasons 1 or 2, really, on the Xbox side. But for a Thursday Night Thunder season, you've got to give it to him. Peanut Butter Estes gets the job done. Tom Sears and Tristan Catania offering congratulations. Tristan Catania doing donuts in the grass and ahead of Tom Sears. And possibly this man here, if the points sort out in his favor, which they very well may, Thomas Andrews could be your Thursday Night Thunder Series champion. We're going to let Toby Estes continue to burn the house down. We're going to calculate these points. We're going to have top 3 and your Thursday Night Thunder champion in the booth in just a moment. Don't go anywhere, fans. On our podium now with our top 3 and season champion. Let's start with our third place finisher, Tom Sears, and let's do this, Tomo. Let's do this. Let's start with our race winner, Toby Estes, Peanut Butter Estes, in that 78 car, coming home with that win. You made the pass for the win with less than 10 laps to go. Did it come down to a difference in tires, because your tires were way older than Cody's?
Yeah, I think it came down to saving tires, and I was running a little different line than Cody. I think it paid off better in the long run, but definitely fun racing there with Cody.
Season, you came away with 4 wins this season. Unofficially, you're going to finish in the top 13 in the points. Season 5, just a few weeks away. Are we going to see more of the Peanut Butter Bandit in Season 5?
Oh yeah, 100%. This is a blast. I love racing these cars. Whatever they go with next year, I'm definitely going to be running this full time. And I can't wait. It's fun. Great group of guys to run with here.
Congratulations on that win. We'll see you in a few weeks for the start of Season 5.
Yes, sir.
Let's go to our second place finisher in that 2-8 Haviland Ford. One Cody Pennell, dominating much of the race, leading the most laps today, getting the pole, but the one thing that escaped you, Cody, the win.
Yeah, that kind of stings a little bit, but it was a hell of a race between Toby and I. I was hoping for a little bit more at the end, maybe give DW and Larry Mack another one of their classic Atlanta finishes, but Toby was he was way better at saving tires. Like he said, the line he was running, it was way better on the tires, and as much as I tried to figure it out there at the end, I just couldn't. And I tagged the wall one time in 3 and 4, and it just kind of went downhill from there. But overall, a pretty good season with these guys. I didn't get to run full time, but gonna try to next season and see if I can't do a little bit better.
Unofficially this season, you have 2 wins with an average start of second and an average finish of second. Season 5 needs to watch out for Cody Pennell. Congratulations on your second place finish tonight, Cody.
Thank you, Rick.
Our third place finisher, driver of the number 1-4 Toyota Supra, Tom Sears, coming home in third. And unofficially in the points, Tomo, you finished third in the Tommy Withers finishing second in the points on a tiebreaker, and Thomas Andrews, our champion. We'll talk to Andrews in a moment, Tomo. But what an unbelievable season, and so close to defending your title.
Yeah, Rick, just want to start off and say thank you for the stream. I'm really happy to have you here at your home in TNT. It was a great season. This is really the kind of season we're looking for. In our previous 3 TNT seasons, the points were way, way separate at the end, so you didn't get that same kind of, excitement that, multiple people have a chance on the last race. So I just want to tip my hat to Thomas Andrews. He had a hell of a season, super, super consistent. He went out there at Rockingham and got his win right away. He had a great season, so very deserving champion. Um, that's back to back. Tom has won in TNT the chip, so we'll take it. Tommy Withers comes in P2 on the season standings, so that's a triple Tom sweep. We'll take it. It's all about the Toms. We'll take it. Great season. If I didn't miss Darlington, because I that was on my fault. I let my subscription run out, and I watched you guys race that race. If I didn't miss it, I might have had a better shot, but that's just the way the chips fell. And Thomas Andrews just ran one heck of a consistent season. I could not make up for it. So hats off to him. Super consistent, and everyone here for having a great season. This is what we're looking for. This is the kind of racing we're looking for. So I think we succeeded, and I can't wait for season 5.
A brilliant, successful season for the 1-4 of Tom Sears. We will see you very shortly for Season 5, Tomo. Congratulations on your bronze medal.
Thanks, man.
Time to put a cap on it all. for the first time in his Thursday Night Thunder career. 1 win this season, an average start of 10th, an average finish of 8th, 486 points, and the crown is his. Stamford, Connecticut's Thomas Andrews, you are the Season 4 Thursday Night Thunder champion.
Thanks, Rick. I mean, I definitely didn't have the race I wanted. I kind of put myself behind the 8 ball with a stupid driver mistake on pit road, but was able to bounce back there. I think I got 8th at the end, but I knew I had to get back into the top 10 because those guys were Tom Sears and Tommy Withers and Dustin Painter are all really fast. So any of those guys could have won, and if they did, they really would have. It really would have mixed up the points. So just tried to get back up there, but I didn't. I definitely wasn't the fastest car this season, but I felt like I was pretty consistent. But next season, I mean, man, are we going to have some really fast guys? You just heard it here. Toby's going to be running full time. Cody Pennell is going to probably be running full time. We got Jeremy Briel. We got Tom Sears, who, if he didn't miss that race, he'd probably be the champion, 3-time champion, maybe. Donald Ray, another guy who, I mean, he was right there until he had to miss a couple races. Tommy Withers had an excellent season. I mean, the list goes on and on. I know Dustin Painter had an awesome season. He was super fast there. So I just feel really fortunate. I'm really proud of this league and what we've accomplished in our first season in iRacing. I mean, to be able to put on I know we had some incidents today, but we've had a couple green flag runs, green flag races from start to finish. And I mean, I couldn't be more proud of the guys that are in this league from top to bottom. I mean, with all class acts. I got to thank you, Rick, for putting on this broadcast, as well as helping with all the administrative duties, and Tom Sears and Terry Gabbert for all they do to kind of make this work. So yeah, but yeah, it's been a blast. I've really enjoyed this season. This has been the most enjoyable season for me personally, but yeah, I think I got second last year. So one step, I think in my interview last year, I wanted to do one position better. So I guess I did that this season.
The championship is finally yours. There's a lot of celebrations to do. Go get that party started. Thomas Andrews, the Season 4 TNT champion.
Thanks, buddy.
Well, that's it. 15 weeks ago, we started our beloved little Xbox hobby, Thursday Night Thunder, on this iRacing platform, and here we are. An unbelievably successful season with the closest championship fight ever. It came down to 10 points between the top two, and it was a tiebreak for second place between Tommy Withers and Tom Sears. Special mention to Dustin Painter, only 3 points off that podium. Donald Ray, who missed this final race with a win this season, average finish of 8th. It has been an unbelievable thrill ride, and I am so eternally glad that I was able to do this 4th season of Thursday Night Thunder, and I cannot wait to start Season 5. The theme will continue. The nostalgic 90s and 2000s theme that we have fallen in love with will keep on pushing forward. The driving is only going to get better, if you can imagine that. And I promise you the broadcasting will too, despite this atrocious tripping over my own self job that we've done over these last 12 weeks. We're only going to improve. Fans, thank you so much for sticking around over these last 12 weeks. But the broadcasting does not stop. Stay here on Rick James TV Monday and Tuesday nights for NASCAR trucks and NASCAR Xfinity cars. And as always, until that next race, everybody, please stay safe. Do take care of each other. And we will. Oh, you bet we will. See you all around that